Salve galera, a primeira coisa que eu tenho pra falar pra vocês é que eu não estou me travestindo. Esse aí é o avatar da minha filha Sofia. Então se vocês me virem Moso aí de rosa no Hack Room é porque é ela que provavelmente está jogando. Bem, você como bom gamer provavelmente já teve vontade de sentar frente a frente com um desenvolvedor e perguntar tudo pra ele sobre como é desenvolver um jogo, quais as expectativas, enfim. Bem, hoje eu vou realizar esse sonho. Vou entrevistar aqui o Andreas, que é o desenvolvedor do game Pirate Flight. É uma entrevista longa, mas bem completa, com muitos detalhes. Eu tenho certeza que se você acompanhar até o final, você vai sair super informado dessa entrevista. Bem, eu sou o Moso e esse é meu primeiro programa, Balaio do Moso, aqui para a TVR. Espero que vocês gostem. Vamos lá. Oh, sorry. Andreas, is that you?
Yeah, it's Andreas. Hi, Moso.
Okay. Hi. Let's take the You close your hands like this. Pressing the T button. Yeah. Okay. And then you take to the party
Great.
here. No, just beat it. No. Right.
Great stuff. So funny.
Okay. We have to set up the party. Try to close her. It's that. Now it's okay. And so, how are you?
I'm fine. Still trying to get around here. Disc golf is fun, but I played in real life, and it's a little bit different. It's a nice room you have.
Actually, is a generic one. Is
Okay.
I didn't change much anything here. Just put that trees over there and this fireplace and this thing. Just the room is actually it comes like this. So it's your first time here? No, you
Yes,
said
yes.
said. Do you know how to fly? Oh, you like flying?
Normally, flying is I have a problem with motion sickness. That was one of the reasons why I put in so much stuff to counter motion sickness.
Uh-huh. No, but
And,
because on the other room where we're gonna make the interview, I believe flying will be needed for a little time to get on the room. So
okay. What do I have to do?
you raise your right hand, press the move button, the front button.
Ah. And
Yeah.
then I just point in okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Got it. Okay. I go faster if I push out the hand further.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you can go beyond the walls if you want to.
And
Go.
can I go backwards?
Yeah, you put the hand backwards.
Okay. Good one.
So here's the interview room.
Okay. Very nice room. Can I sit down?
You just teleport to the sofa. Then you. You can shoot it.
How do I shoot it?
I believe. Yeah, just like that.
Okay. I won't shoot you.
No, no problem.
No, I don't shoot people. Like. So now shoot me again.
What? Oh.
Shit!
Beleza, posso começar aqui? Eu vou tomando uma... taking a... What's that? Is a coffee or something like that?
It's cacao.
Cacao?
It's milk with cacao. Yeah. Very tasty. I like it.
Thank you very much, Andreas, for coming here. We are very pleased to have you here with us. And okay, can you tell us about your game making experience before Pirate Flight? I know you were a rocket scientist. Is that true? No? But how do you dive in the game making industry? You can say something like that.
A long time ago, I was born in 1969, so I saw the first man and people walk on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I started with game development in the year 1982 with a computer ZX81 from Sinclair. It was a very small computer, only 1 kilobyte of RAM memory, and it was coded in BASIC. And after a few months I started coding in assembler code and published my first games. They were printed in magazines, and people had to type these listings and then compile the games. And a little bit later the Commodore 64 appeared, and I was able to buy it from the money I got from my first games, and I just continued making games during my time at school. My marks in school were not so good, of course, because I was coding all the time. Okay. A bit later the Commodore Amiga appeared, and I published, I guess, 4 or 5 games for the Amiga. The biggest one was Sarcophaser. It was a game like Katakis or R-Type, a horizontal scrolling game with a small spaceship and extra weapons you collected. And a few years later I started with doing PC games. It was a real-time strategy game called Splitterwelten that was published in 1989. No, it was finished in 89, but it did not find a publisher. So it was published in 94 because nobody knew the game concept of real-time strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped making games for a while. I had a TV show in Germany where I presented games and did interviews with rocket scientists and German astronauts and people doing great stuff with computers. After that, it got complicated. I mostly worked for magazines as an editor, then editor-in-chief for games magazines and popular science magazines. And in 2011 I returned making games for mobiles. That was my Freeze game. It has 13 million downloads so far. Sequel, Freeze 2. And I thought that mobile games are getting a bit boring. The audience is bad, they don't want to pay for games. So I wanted to make my newest game for PlayStation 4 VR, because I thought that's quite a small market, but with lots of potential and lots of fun. And there was no flying game like the one I did. Of course, there was this other Wings game that came out in December last year, but I thought it was a bit too complicated for me. I want to drop in the game, just push some buttons and fly away. I don't want to go into a mission hangar and look at nodes and select missions and all that stuff. So I did my very small casual game on my own, and I enjoyed very much.
Oh, nice. It's really a nice game. I told you I played. I believe I played 8% of it, but since I am reviewing all the time a lot of games, I can finish it. But I will be back there and finish. And I told you that I felt a little bit motion sickness, but it was a bad day for me. I was tired. I get home really tired, and I forced myself to play the game, and I was hungry. I have not feed well, and so you know that the things interfere with our here. Is that your dog, Gabriel? É teu cachorro, Gabriel?
Sim.
Okay,
It sounds like a nice dog. Is it a big dog or a small one? Oh, a tiny little dog. It's so cute. Say hello to the dog for me.
Qual o nome dele, Gabriel? What is its name? The dog's name?
Boguinho.
Oi?
Boguinho.
Boguinho. Is the name of the dog. I have a Shih Tzu here too. So Andreas, I know you already told me that Frozen Gun is practically one man developer, one man game developer industry. I don't know how to say that. And I believe it was hard to make the game all by yourself. Tell us a little bit about it, how it works to build a game from the first concept to the end, only you and you only. How is that?
It's fun, because in my former games I always hired artists and musicians, people who helped me doing the game. I did all the coding, but the art was done by real artists. But it's a little bit of hassle to talk to them and to communicate your ideas and get everyone on the same page. That's the game comes to life exactly the way I want it to be. So I decided that the newest game, my PlayStation 4 game, I want to do absolutely on my own. But I'm not a very good artist. So with the Unity development system, it's possible to buy assets in the Unity asset store. And the asset store, there are many artists who sell their work. You don't get it exclusively, so other people can buy the art too and use it. But the good thing is it's quite cheap. So I was able to buy palm trees and rocks and all that stuff I need for the world. And the stuff I could not buy, I built on my own. For example, a rock bridge where you can fly through. There was no such thing as a rock bridge. So I constructed it in a 3D tool, and I used the texture, the art, the drawing, and put it on my rock bridge. So I was able to construct all the parts I could not buy on my own. For example, the airplane. I bought a yellow biplane with two wings on top of each other. It was very close to what I needed. And then I started to change the airplane. I removed one pair of wings, I built a cockpit with the instruments, and I adjusted the airplane just the way I needed it. And that's how I did the complete game. I tried to buy much stuff, and what I could not buy I had to do on my own. And that took a lot of time. But I did not have to communicate with anybody because it's my own project. And while I like talking to people, I enjoyed it a lot that I had to depend on nobody else for this project. Just me, myself, and I.
And you should be proud of it, I believe, because it's really a good thing to do.
Thank you.
I thought you draw it all by yourself. You do not know. And I believe the guy is marvelous because he can draw, he can like program and do the coding and everything. And I have one question about this. Do you make the game on flat TV, right, or flat computer? Is that? And then you test it on VR. How is that? How the VR comes to them? When the VR comes to the game? I don't know about it because when you see developers programming a game, we see on the computer, and then how do you program a thing for the VR? I don't know about it. How it works?
Mostly I use my old Macintosh computer from 2012. It's 6 years old, and I installed Windows on my Macintosh computer because I don't have another one, and I needed Windows to develop for the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
And then the game I constructed, I developed it using Unity, the development SDK, and I tested mainly in
Unity. It's a program, yeah. You said Unity.
Yes,
It's the same.
With Unity.
It's the same
Exactly.
it's the same for
Yes.
Rec Room. Same thing for
Yes.
Rec Room. Yeah.
Rec Room is developed using Unity. I think that maybe half of the mobile games of the world are developed in Unity, and many PC games on Steam, and even console games.
Oh, nice.
And Unity is free, so if you want to develop using Unity, even for PlayStation 4, you don't have to pay a thing. You just have to mention that it was built using Unity. There's a logo you have to put in the game. So it was an obvious choice for me, because I don't have to invest so much money. And then I tested on my computer in 2D on the flat screen, the flying and all the stuff. And then you have to apply at Sony, and you have to buy a development kit from Sony. I cannot tell how much it costs because
Okay.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I have to sign an NDA that nothing should be published about that. But after I got it, I was able to compile the code and push it on the development kit. And then I just mounted the head-mounted display, the PSVR, and tested it on the PS4 development kit. And this takes a lot of time because to compile for the PlayStation, to compile my game takes about 10 to 15 minutes of time. And then you push it to the console and you test it. And something is bad, and then you change it and you compile again 10 to 15 minutes, and you push it again to the consoles and you test again. So it's a very time-consuming process with my old computer. But it worked out at the end.
And we can see the results there. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Why make a game on VR? Why did you choose VR? You already talked a little about in the beginning.
In real life, I love to do all that kind of dangerous stuff, like diving and flying. I have a flying license for glider planes and for single-engine PPLA license planes, and gliders like paragliding, delta gliding, all that stuff. But now I have kids, and my wife doesn't like it at all if I do that stuff. So I promised her, as long as the kids are at home, I don't do that anymore. But I love flying. So I was looking for a game in VR where I sit in my own small airplane and just can fly around and have fun flying. But there was no such game when I started. There was only Eagle Flight. And while Eagle Flight is a very nice game, it was not what I wanted. I wanted really to sit down in my own airplane and look around while flying. So I thought, okay, the only chance I have is wait till someone else does it, or do it on my own. And so the idea was born. And normally when I have an idea, I say, no, I cannot do that, too much time, too complicated. And then I start to get angry on myself. Why can I not do it? Of course I can do it. Everybody else can do it. So I did it. That was normal process for me. Just think about something, I want to do it, and then do it step by step by step by step till it's finished.
Okay. How long did it take?
2 years.
2 years.
Because I only work in my spare time at night because I have a full-time job. And so I started 2 years ago when I heard about the PlayStation VR getting released. It was not there yet. But I knew I had to do lots of stuff before I start with the VR integration. So about 2 years ago I started, and last December, half a year ago, I got my development kit and the PSVR headset, and I started to put everything into the correct VR space and made everything work with the PlayStation VR.
I think you muted yourself. We're not listening.
Oh,
Okay?
how do I unmute?
No, okay. We're listening.
Ah, okay.
There's some kind of gesture that you do, and accidentally people do that all the time. I don't know what gesture is, but okay.
Yes.
I lost your last words. But it's okay. I believe you answered.
I don't know anymore. I don't know what I was talking about anymore. Just
Okay.
that. I think I just said it was a really big project, but I just did it step by step
By step,
by
yeah,
step.
yeah. It's been more or less 3 weeks since the game launching on the PS stores. It was released on first day of May, right?
Yes.
And it's been 2 weeks now. How it's doing? It's selling, the sales. It's good. It's just
Let me
like
say. Let me say it's bad. It's really bad. I knew that that not many people buy normal VR games. They buy the blockbuster games like Farpoint or Moss and games like this because everybody wants to own them. But the other smaller games, if they are not totally cheap, if they are not costing only $2, $3, $4, are not bought. And I still don't have the money, or I still did not have earned the money that I spent for the development kit and the localizations, the languages. But I hope I will go there. I will get there. Because with the new update that will be released on May 29.
Oh yeah, it's the first. It was the next question, but all right, you responded.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's May 29 in Europe and North America, South America, Middle America, all over the world. It's May 29. I added all the stuff the VR YouTubers were criticizing. Like now you have a pro game mode where you can do flying without any blinders. You can do aerobatics like aileron rolls and doing all that very hard stuff for people who get motion sickness.
Okay.
So when I implemented it, the flight model, the physical flight model, after 2 minutes of testing, I felt really bad. It's not for me. I need my blinders. I need everything a bit slower. But the professional VR gamers, they will love it. And I heard lots of criticism about the noise levels, about it was all a bit too loud and the music. And I reduced this and I integrated Spotify support.
I told you that too. I believe I
Yeah.
told you. Yeah.
Yes, you did, and I did it because if you play it and you say so, it sounds reasonable. And if people want to play Spotify, hear their Spotify playlists, but still want to have the engine noise and the shots fired and all that stuff, well, of course I implemented it. So
Okay.
with this update, I will push it out. I think they will all like it, hopefully. And I will make a price promotion for that time to say thank you to all the feedback I got that helped me to improve the game. So I will reduce the price for a while, for 2 weeks after the update, and then we'll see if more people say, okay, now I like it. Or if they still say, no, I prefer to play Ultra Wings or whatever.
I believe it's different games, and they
It is.
have different proposals. But Ultra, one of the things that I like about Ultra Wing is that it's just to turn off the background music and put a Spotify and go flying around with no real objectives. Just go flying and take a look at that islands that they got there. It's fun it's relaxing. I believe when we can do that on Pirate Fight, it should be nice too. It will be nice.
You can try to fly around, but I prefer to shoot some balloons tied to the dragon's tail and that stuff. It's the fun I have, and my kids love it too. They love the dragons.
I told you my daughter played a lot. I sent you a photo of that.
Yes, you sent me the picture. That was so funny.
Yeah, she can play, but she was not supposed to play. But anyway, it's there. I believe that's the next question, the most tricky one for you. I don't know if you don't feel right to answer. Okay, it's okay to us. No problem. How does Sony get involved on the game making process?
Mostly they are not involved. It's all the stuff that needs to be done, like setting up your accounts and the IDs and secrets and all the publishing stuff. There, Sony is heavily involved, and you have to communicate a lot with Sony. It's not an automated process with a web page where you can just put in some values. No, you have to talk to different guys from Sony America, from Sony Europe, from Sony Japan, from Sony Asia. You have to talk and communicate with all of them many times. I have hundreds of emails of this process where I had to do stuff with them. I think the reason is that it all grew from the first PlayStation 1 development. That was kind of crude, and they didn't have a complete workflow in place. And then they just built up on this and put some more stuff here in and some more stuff there. And in the end, a quite complex system came to existence. So as developers we have to handle that, but we get lots of support too. So we always have a kind of place, a forum where we can ask for help. So please, this is going wrong, or what's going on here, or what about this and that, and they will help you quite fast. So it's complicated, but they don't leave you alone with it.
Okay,
and
nice.
From Sony Japan I got some support that they set everything up for me for the Japan and Korean release, because they supported me in this a lot. They liked the game and they said, okay, we can help you out here. That was very good, because I think they do not have so many PlayStation VR games. So even if some independent developer like me drops by and says, okay, I've got a new game here, they say, okay, we want to have a big catalog. We want to have more games here, more options for the gamers. Even if it's not for everybody, but some people might like it. So they supported me. That was great.
Oh, nice. A new question came around here. How do you get the Portuguese support? You paid for that? Some people who could translate the game for us?
Yes.
And I just have to tell, it was so nice. We feel bad here in South America when a game comes without the language support for us. And it was pretty nice of you to put that Portuguese.
I
we
bought
love
it. That's great, because I cannot judge if the Portuguese translation is good or not. I hired a company based in San Francisco, Battle On, that's the name, and they did some translations for me to Portuguese and to Korean and to Russian and all these languages. And I get the result back, and I just cannot say, well, if they just used Google Translate or if they used a real guy from Brazil who can speak Brazilian Portuguese. I hoped so. But
no, it's nice.
I was not sure.
It's not a strange Portuguese. It's a how can I say? It's a colloquial thing. It's a daily thing. It's Brazilian Portuguese. It's nice. It's real nice.
That's good to hear. So I will hire them for the next game too, because they did good work.
You should hire them. They did such a great work there. It was fine.
Yeah, it did cost me about $200 to get the Portuguese support in the game, because there's not much text and stuff like that. So if I sell in Brazil, I sell maybe 20 to 25 games, then the price for Portugal is, for Brazilian Portuguese is recovered.
Okay.
So, yes, please buy 25 games in Brazil. Then all is
I
fine.
believe it's easy to get 25, I believe. Or it's not. Depends.
It's not. It's not. It's a lot for one country.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, there are even big games out there who have lots of marketing power and companies that only sell 2,000 games for VR, for PlayStation VR. And for 2,000 games, if you sell them for $15, the company gets $10, so they have $20,000 they recover for one game. And for that they have to pay artists, musicians, coders, programmers, all that stuff, so they won't even get their expenses back. That kind of sales.
Okay.
So it's not a market where someone gets rich. It's mostly, I think, most of the games who are published for VR are on the negative side. They will not recover the money needed to.
But
Only the big guys will.
Okay. Don't you believe that this thing is gonna change on the future? It's one of the questions I have here. Do you believe on VR as gaming and entertainment for the future?
I think Sony will push it and continue to push it. I read a number that they sold about 2 million headsets. I'm not sure about this number. I just read it on the internet. And it's a big number, but I don't know how many of these headsets are still in use, or if they are only collecting dust somewhere. It's people will play games like Super Hot VR and very cool games like that, but many companies need to decide if they want to go this way, because they will not get much money back. It's a risk for them to buy this. So VR will attract some certain genres of games, and that are maybe not driving and flying because of motion sickness. But other games where this is not an issue, they will have success with new headsets that are lighter and easier to switch on and attach to the console, not a complicated setup like the PlayStation VR has right now. For example, it's very difficult if I take my headset and go to a friend. I have to reconnect everything and the camera and all that stuff. For me it's not a problem, but the friend of mine, he would never do it. He's too easily bored, and so it will need some time that everybody will have easy access to VR gaming. And then I guess people will love it.
I believe that too. Myself, I won't do that anyway, to take all my stuff to a friend's house. I prefer to invite them to come in my house, because it's way easier to show them the VR than to pack all the stuff and go to their house. And oh my God, I can't, it's such trouble. It will be a lot of trouble
absolutely.
to do that. Okay, I have just one more question, Andreas. Right now, Pirate Flight is PSVR exclusive, right?
Yes.
Do you intend to take them to another VR platforms? Because usually the games do the other way. They come first for PC VR or HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, and then they come to PlayStation VR. So you're getting on the wrong direction. No, it's not wrong, but a different direction. You're doing first PSVR, and then do you plan to go to the other platforms?
I absolutely do not intend to go to any other platform. I started on PlayStation VR, and I told Sony that it will be an exclusive title. It will be a very small title, but it will be completely exclusive for PSVR, and not only for a few months or so, but forever. And I think this might be one of the reasons why Sony supported me, and for example in North America they put the game on the digital store and the PlayStation store with a big banner. And even on the web page they put it in with a banner. So they promoted the game a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I will not get back on my word and now port it to another Vive VR headset or something else. I promised it's PlayStation VR exclusive, and that's what I intend to keep.
Okay, it's nice. But at least you can say to them, this game is only ours.
Absolutely. Nobody else will be able to play it. Not a chance.
But one of these friends that will come to film you here that not arrived yet, he's using Vive, not PlayStation
Yes.
VR. We meet every day here, but he uses Vive, not PlayStation VR. So I will mock him next time.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's I think people like games like Farpoint. These are system sellers. People will buy a PlayStation VR just because of they want to play Farpoint in games like this. I'm not sure about Moss. Do you know if Moss is for other VR systems?
No, it's
It is?
exclusive for Sony.
So we have Moss and Pirate Flight. But what more do we need?
Yeah, good games.
Thanks.
There is some others. I believe Bravo Team is exclusive. There is a lot of other exclusives PSVR titles. Not so many. Less than 10, I believe. but
I think
we have some good
I think
exclusives.
yes. After I publish the update and everything is done, I will take my time and just play around and be in Rec Room and game some more and play other PlayStation VR games. I didn't have the time for that with a job, family, and developing a Pirate Flight.
Mm-hmm.
But now, after it's done and the update is done, I guess I will play a lot.
Oh, it would be nice to see you around here. Now you are friends here in Rec Room.
Yeah, I will always find you and say hello to you whenever I see you. Nice witch.
Okay. Andreas, we really want to thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man, and I know it's late now for you in Germany, and now it's only, I believe, 7 p.m. here for me, and for you it might be
Almost midnight.
over midnight, almost midnight. So I really like to thank you for your time and your collaboration with us. It was really nice, and you take a lot of doubts that we have about game making and all this industry and all this stuff you know about. Okay? Really,
Thank
it
you
was good.
so much, and please continue to help people, make them well again, and you make them well and I make them laugh.
Yeah.
Hopefully.